Welcome to Bite-Sized Crime, a true crime podcast, less about the truth and more about the crime, presented in bite-sized portions. On this program, we will take you right into some of the world's most terrifying crimes that happen in everyday life. Everything in this show could happen to just about any of you, which would be horrible. But if it does, email us your stories at bitesizedcrime@gmail.com. Before we dive into the horrendous, fucked up, unthinkable, gut-wrenching things on today's episode, we need to take a moment to tell you about our sponsor. Bite-Sized Crime is brought to you by Extendiclit. Extendiclit is a new pill just for women who want a little lift under the hood. Don't just lay there. With Extendiclit, it's time for you to be on top. Use offer code BitesizeCrime at checkout for a 69-day free trial. Extendiclit, it's his turn to sit. Today, we'll be investigating a death in a place where our children should feel safe instead of living in fear of dark magic overcoming the halls and taking away their innocence. The year was 1995, and it was a gangster's paradise until the day Cedric, no relation to Cedric the Entertainer, had just gotten picked to represent Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry for the Triwizard Tournament. Because of the way he sparkled in the sun with his long, thick wand. Although being overshadowed by Harry's shocking yet planned entry into the Triwizard Tournament, Cedric, with a great deal of support from his fellow classmates, Jessica, Mike, and the emotionless Bella, had tied with Harry for first place after 2 tasks. Cedric had a great deal of confidence in himself, even though his lifted Ford 150 would say otherwise. He had this tournament in the bag. I mean, he was seeker for his Quidditch team and a 6-year at that. He had no doubt that he could take Harry for first place. Shocked by the size, girth, and support Harry showed during his hardships in the 3rd task, they both ran for the Triwizard Cup with the understanding that they would tie. Little did Cedric and Harry know, the cup was actually a portkey. Instead of ending up where the band Creed celebrated the return, along with the student body and headmaster, the boys ended up in the little Hanglington graveyard. Perplexed by the graveyard, Cedric wandered off not far from Harry to see where they ended up. Harry was worried. He did warn Cedric to go back to the cup in hopes that he would get transported to the end of the life-threatening maze. Cedric was apprehensive at Harry's choice after seeing the choices he had made at Jimmy John's, that piece of crap sandwich shop. Regardless, he would regret not listening to Harry. Peter Pettigrew came forth from a tomb. Both boys were shocked. I mean, what would you do if you're elbow deep in skeleton punani, then this fucking guy comes out of nowhere? Harry quickly realized that he knows this graveyard. He had been there before, or so he thought. Peter acted fast, using the killing curse. Taking another life was the greatest sin in the wizarding world, besides licking a chocolate frog off Dumbledore's backside. 1995 wasn't as progressive as we all remember. Cedric was struck with the curse, and I'm not talking about the curse of curves, I'm talking about the curse of being fucking dead. Harry fought hard for Cedric. After all, he felt responsible for his untimely death. A duel erupted between Harry and the one whose name shall not be said. Fuck it, I'll say it, I'm not scared. Lord Voldemort. While using a powerful spell to keep Voldemort at bay, Harry received help from the echoes of Cedric, Lily, and James Potter, Bertha Jorkins, Frank Byers, and Bob Ross. Luckily for Harry, those echoes held Voldemort off just long enough for Harry to grab Cedric's body spray and head for the Triwizard Cup. Cedric only had one request. He needed Harry to bring his body spray back for his parents. This was a hard task for Harry because he had really bad body odor and wanted to use some. Once returning to the end of the Triwizard tournament, the cheering quickly changed to screaming, erupting from the crowd, but most importantly from Cedric's father, Amos. Amos and Dumbledore rushed to Harry's side, caught off guard, asking what happened. How did this happen? How can I save money by switching to Geico? All that good stuff. Of course, Harry felt responsible. The cup had only got turned into a portkey because he is a greedy-ass bastard obsessed with winning and watching fail videos on YouTube, but mostly winning. He is the one that got away from Voldemort. And yet again, he managed to get away from Voldemort, which unfortunately would cause more deaths. Not like he gives a shit. When will this Harry guy truly face Voldemort? When will the ridiculous deaths end due to his inability to commit to Voldemort's sexual advances? So next time you send your children to school, just remember, I ain't no holler back girl. Until next crime, this has been Bite-Sized Crime. This episode was written by DeAna Snapp, written, performed, and created by Corey Snapp, in loving memory of Rebecca Arsenault Lombard.